Welcome to Livingston, our podcast where we invite local businesses, people, and organizations to talk about what they are giving to our community.
As real estate professionals with the Putkela Group, we bring valuable insight into the local market and community every week.
Thanks for listening, and welcome to Livingston. Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast. My name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela, and we're with the Putkela Group Real Estate Professionals. And our podcast has been brought to you by Jim Paquette at Lake Michigan Credit Union, and we really appreciate their support.
No, we really do. You know, we had Lake Michigan Credit Union on one of our episodes, and they're just a great local credit union, and Jim Paquette just is awesome.
Yes, they're a great part of our community, and we're lucky to have them for sure. And in a lot of cases, our episodes are these small businesses or causes or events around town. And today, unfortunately, the guest we had planned had to cancel, and that's okay. So you get the both of us today, and thought we'd talk about something kind of timely and relevant.
Yeah, no, we are going to discuss some of those events that we talk about that are coming up. But one of the great things about talking about these events is they really support the local small businesses.
Yes.
They are so important to these local communities and the entrepreneurs and just the people that come out, the vendors and everything that come out. And they give people a chance to get out in the community. I mean, Livingston County is great in all seasons, but it just is amazing during the summer with all the things that you can get outside for.
Yes. Oh, it really is. It's wonderful. Sometimes we have people that are new to the community and they're trying to kind of figure out their way and, how do they meet people? How do they check things out? This is such a great opportunity. Or for even people that aren't in Livingston County but are thinking about it.
Right.
What a great way to try it on and come to some of these cool events.
Exactly. And we're going to talk about a lot of events, but the one that I wanted to start out with today is a really special event.
Yes.
And it is, the Howell Opera House has been around forever. And not many people have been upstairs to see the actual opera house part of the opera house.
Right. It's more the lobby. A lot of times some of those art shows or other things, events, parties hosted kind of in that lobby area. But we've been privileged enough because of having some of the, our kids go through the school system. They do a field trip every, what is it, in the third grade?
I think it's the third grade.
Something like that.
Yeah, where they go downtown and they go to the different places and they get to go upstairs and see the opera house.
Yes.
But what's coming up here at the in April and May is Howell Opera House is going to hold their first opera in over 100 years.
Yeah.
It's a full-on opera upstairs. They are going to be doing Pirates of Penzance.
Yes, which I think has a very meaningful twist to it because if I remember right, when the Opera House first opened up, that was the very first opera they had.
Yes, yep, and it is it's a great opera, but they're bringing in an Emmy-nominated director. These are singers and actors that are professional actors coming in, and they're doing this for 2 weekends only. So it's going to be Friday, April 24th, Saturday, April 25th, and then May 1st and May 2nd, the next Friday and Saturday.
Right. And just my understanding is this is part of the fundraiser because they're continuing to renovate, right? They've done so much before now, right, and are continuing to do so. And so the way the seating seems to look is they're probably kind of free-form seats on the main floor rather than kind of how it would be in the traditional theater seats.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to get up in the horseshoe.
Right.
So there's a horseshoe balcony upstairs. Yeah. If you've ever seen like the old Westerns or like even Tombstone, they show there's a part in Tombstone when they're seeing a show at like one of these old-fashioned opera houses. And that's a lot like the one in Howell looks.
Right.
It's got the old horseshoe balcony. There's a stage up front. I think there's only, 60 or 70 seats available for each show. So it's a small, intimate show, but it's part of the fundraiser. Looking at the website, the event on it, they're going to be ripping up the floor after this. So this is the launch for the real hardcore renovations that we're going to have an actual working opera house in Howell.
Right. And it's exciting to see the progress. And so, pick up your tickets while you can. I imagine those will probably sell out by the time.
Yeah, go to the Howell Opera House website. Check it out. There's 4 shows. The tickets are $50 a piece, but it goes, all the proceeds are going towards the renovations.
Right.
And it is just a great opportunity for anyone that wants to see the Opera House, wants to support the Livingston County arts, and that it's a great opportunity. And we wanted to mention it because it is a unique event that this is happening after 100 years.
Yeah, this is really coming up fast. And there are quite a few stairs on the way up. So for someone that may not be super mobile, this may be a tougher event to attend. But for those that can, and even as a special opportunity to actually have to see the inside of the Opera House.
Right.
Because that's not something that, is often available.
Right.
So stay tuned on all that.
Stay tuned. Yeah. No, we are going to one of the shows, so we're super excited about that.
Yes.
So the first thing I kind of wanted to mention is we're coming in on spring here.
Yeah.
Which means that farmers markets are starting.
Yes. Those are so wonderful.
We have some amazing farmer markets in Livingston County.
Yes, we really do. So I feel like each of the communities, each of the cities here, they all have their own farmers markets, but they're on different days, different times.
Right, and some of the vendors are the same, some of them are different. We've actually had a couple of the vendors on our shows for different episodes.
Yeah.
In terms of that, but I mean, if you're checking out the Howell Farmer Market, that's on Sundays between 9 and 2. Right now, that is on State Street. It's right next to Dairy Queen in front of the
courthouse.
The courthouse. They're eventually going to be moving that over to when the ice rink opens up, and use that during the summer. But I know they're still working on that space over there. Brighton's Farmer Market is on Saturday from 8 to 1. So you can hit Brighton and Howell Saturday and Sunday. Right. Brighton's is right in next to the Imagination Station there at the Mill Pond.
And it's interesting because I always thought there'd be a lot more overlap between the vendors at each. But personally, I don't feel like there's nearly as much, that you really get different experiences. For those that are interested, sometimes, especially as you get into summer, your schedule gets really busy. So maybe your Saturday's filled up. Go over to Howell for Sunday if you can't make Brighton's on Saturday. So there's no reason not to make it to one of the farmers markets on any given weekend.
Right. I mean, there's one up in Heartland in the Rural King parking lot on Saturdays from 9 to 1. There's one in Pinckney at the town square on Sunday from 1 to 5. I like that because that's in the afternoon. You could hit Howell in the morning and go over there and hit Pinckney in the afternoon. Yeah. And then Fowlerville has one from 9 to 1 as well. So, I mean, you have these great opportunities to see local vendors. And then as the growing season hits, you're able to go there and you're able to get fresh corn and fresh tomatoes. And
all that great produce.
Yes.
Grown locally.
Exactly. So that's really good. So I did want to mention that.
And just as a point of reference, when do they begin and how long do they go for?
Oh, that is a great. So they start the first weekend in May and they run through the end of October. So it is a nice big chunk of the year to go down there. And usually there are some food trucks when you go down to them. You can walk around, you can get yourself some lunch, head over to Dairy Queen. There's usually a coffee truck or two, but yeah, May to October. So you're looking at a big chunk of the year that you're able to go to the farmers markets.
Right. And even for those that may be interested in a booth, you can look to the websites and find out what details are involved. I know there's different requirements depending on the community.
Right. And I know that there's a great opportunity to get those vendor booths at those events.
Right. Yes.
Yep.
So especially if somebody has a little side hustle, or I know some of our high schoolers, have friends that have made their own earrings or different things and gotten a booth before, and so it's a special resource and opportunity for everybody.
Exactly. And those are great. Connected to the downtowns. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that we have such amazing live music.
Yes, definitely.
on the weekends, both in Howell and in Brighton.
Yes.
So the schedule isn't out yet, but every Friday night during the summer, there's concerts at the courthouse in Howell. And this is a huge event. If you've driven down Grand River, there are hundreds of people in lawn chairs waiting for these concerts at the courthouse.
Yeah, people definitely come in, and interestingly, your parents have been known to come on by, like, hey, we're going to be in your backyard because we're coming to this cool concert.
Yeah, I mean, they've had, some local, I don't want to
Tribute
call
bands,
tribute
maybe?
bands, cover bands. There's been a Bob Seger cover band, Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville. I know Magic Bus, who plays like Woodstock type music, is out there every year.
A lot of the 1960s, everybody's favorite tunes.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's some great opportunities to come see music there at the courthouse. And in Brighton, they have music at the Amp, and that's on Thursday nights, starting June 18th, and it runs June, July, and August. And that's more smaller bands, a little bit of acoustic, a little bit of rock and roll every once in a while. I would say that usually it's not tribute bands; it's actual. Sometimes they play some of their own music.
Kind of indie, right?
Kind of indie, a little bit indie rock, but that's great. If you've walked the Mill Pond, they put the Amp in a few years ago, and that's just a great space.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's neat that, culturally they're kind of different experiences.
Right.
So whatever you're into, there's something out there for
Right,
you.
exactly. And if you really want to get into just like the one person sitting there playing music, and you're almost like the coffee house type music, they have Saturdays at the Fire Pit in July and August.
That makes sense. It's really close to the coffee house, isn't it?
Right, yeah. So there's just going to be a person sitting out there from 7 to 9, and that is starting July 18th on Saturdays, that they have someone out there playing some music. So it's an opportunity to walk around, kind of see downtown, go to the shops, maybe get some food. But it's just...
These downtowns have such a great vibe, because it's a big part of it. Like, you don't even need to spend money just to come and walk around and soak it all in.
Exactly.
But you can, and then you spend it on local businesses, which is
Right.
what we love. But it's just, you go for the vibe, you go for the fun, especially on a nice day. Things are warm. You're at home relaxing. It certainly gives you something fun to do.
Exactly.
The summer. Now, food trucks, I know, have been a real big deal.
But food trucks are a huge deal. Okay, so I have one on the list here, and there's another one that I thought of while I was sitting here. So I know that Howell does food trucks every week, Tuesday during the summer from 11 to 2. They'll have 4 or 5 food trucks that line up there on State Street and on Grand River right around the courthouse. You can go down there and you can get some food from some of these local food trucks, which is great. I know Pinckney has 3 or 4 days of summer that if you go and look up their Pinckney Food Truck Rally, or you just go to their Chamber of Commerce site, you can see the dates on there. I don't have the dates on it, but I know that they do food truck rallies down there as well.
And I feel like that's a really big deal. There's several food trucks and
Yes.
big events.
Yep. So that is great. And I know that there's food trucks are an up and coming type little business.
Yeah.
And there's some unique food that you can get on these food trucks that is just really good.
Really delicious. And I know certain restaurants have developed from starting as a food truck. It's kind of like
Right.
batting in the minors and then getting called up the majors in a little bit.
Exactly.
But the food's still really good.
Yep. And I know we have Brighton City Art Fair coming up this summer. That's a bit of a new one. That's not one of the big festivals I would talk about.
Right.
But that's going to be downtown August 23rd to 25th. And there'll probably be some food trucks at that as well.
Sounds good. And I feel like Heartland has an art fair as well.
They do.
In June sometime.
Yep.
So stay
Yep.
tuned.
No, and Pinckney has art in the park as well.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's right. Because the Pinckney dates, those are dates I do have. That's May the 30th and 31st.
Yes. So I love these ideas of the art in the park, and they bring in the local vendors, and they have some people that are local that are putting artwork out there, and that you're able to see things, and sometimes you're able to meet the artists, and there's some nice things, unique things that you can buy.
Right. With
which
the
is
focus
really
on
nice.
art,
Yeah.
which you don't always get. Sometimes the farmers markets in some cases, they have a whole menagerie of different types of booths, but a lot of it is more food oriented.
Right. Today's episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast is brought to you by our valued sponsor, Jim Putkela with Lake Michigan Credit Union. He is a trusted mortgage lender who has lived and worked in our community for many years. Jim Putkela is dedicated to helping our neighbors achieve their homeownership dreams and is proud to support the local businesses that make our area special. Now let's dive back into the stories of the incredible entrepreneurs we are featuring today. You were asking me earlier today about for the active person, right?
Yes, because a lot of times that's how people end up in Livingston County is because of the lakes and because of, the parks and just such, an open, active lifestyle kind of place.
Exactly. So we had Spicer's Orchard on one of our episodes. I wish I had the episode number right now. I don't have it. But when we were talking about Spicer's, they talked about how they do a 5K. So their Berry Bash 5K is coming up in August. And what's the wonderful thing about that is you get to run through their orchard for the 5K. So that's a bit of a unique 5K. So check out their website, look into that to be able to see sign up for that and be able to do that 5K.
And Spicer's Orchard's interview was episode 142.
There you go.
I did look that up. So if you want to cross-reference, they have such great things over there. That's the north part of the county.
Right. And then Island Lake, which is just outside of the county, but I really think Lake Kensington and Island Lake is kind of being in Livingston County. Yeah. They have their Island Lake Triathlon on June 6th.
Yep, that's
which surprisingly, I was running at Kensington last year and I wasn't doing the triathlon at all. But somehow out for a run. Somehow I got caught up in the run portion of the triathlon. And I was like, no, I don't have anything written on me. I'm going that way. You're going this way. But, it's a great space out there. And if you're interested in rooting people on in a triathlon, if you haven't seen one before, what a great event to go to be able to root these people on. They're doing such hard work.
For those that aren't super familiar with triathlons, could you define what is a triathlon?
So a triathlon, you are going to swim, you're going to bike, you're going to run. And the lengths vary. So in this triathlon, you can actually sign up for different lengths. So you don't have to swim 1.5 miles if you don't want to.
Goodness. Okay,
you can swim a half mile. I don't know the exacts, but I know there's 4 or 5 different lengths that you can pick from in this one because they want to open it up to people that want to get into triathlons but aren't willing to take the leap of oh my God, I have to swim 3/4 of a mile.
Especially because it's in the lake. It's not in a pool.
It's in a lake, which if you've ever done open water swimming is completely different from lap swimming.
Yes.
Right? So keep that in mind, which is nice. But there's a lot of runs. We have the Duck Run in Brighton, which is great. Yeah. That's a 5K. I know up in Heartland, they're doing a series of kids runs this year. So if you just go check out events up in Heartland, you can find those runs. There's the Sleepy Howell 5K that they do.
That's into October.
That's into October. But even during the summer, there's a Melon Run.
Yes.
During the Melon Fest, they have a 5K. So if you're an active person, you can find these runs to do. And you can start off small and work your way up. But what a great community that is of people to talk to.
Absolutely. So it's neat because in terms of the people that run or walk the 5K, but I like this idea of the triathlon because that's something a little bit different too.
It is.
And what about those that golf? As you're talking about active lifestyle.
Well, we should do an episode on all the golf in Livingston County because that is a whole different ball of wax. I mean, people that golf, there are amazing courses in Livingston County, and there is a ton of events that you can go out and do. There's a lot of fundraisers. I know that you mentioned that because Work Skills, who we had on an episode has
165. So check them out. But this is a big fundraiser for them, and that's going to be happening very soon here on May the 18th.
Yes, and that is going to be at Oak Point Country Club. So what I will say about some of these chamber events, some of these charity events, they sometimes are at private country clubs, and going through these fundraisers is your opportunity to not only support a great cause like work skills.
Right.
But maybe get on a course that is a private course that you haven't been able to play.
Right. That you might not otherwise be able to have access to.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I think that you're onto something. There's enough golf things going on that stay tuned, because we probably need to put together an episode that's just all golf.
Because I love golf.
Yes, you do.
So,
so that's all good. But anyway, the point being, for those that are active and not just eating at the food trucks or, purchasing from the farmers markets or the art fairs, there are wonderful active things.
There are.
To do as well.
So we're going to talk about the major events. Livingston County is known for their festivals.
Yes,
they
sure
have amazing festivals. And I know we have a different opinion of this. So I listen to a lot of sports radio, and then sometimes they talk about like the Mount Rushmore of a sport. Like they'll be like, what are the 4 greatest athletes in Detroit sports history, right? Or such. So if you were going to say, what are your top 4 festivals in Livingston County, what would you say?
Goodness. I think,
and they don't have to be the biggest. They're your 4 favorite.
See, that's different than the Mount Rushmore. How about you? Why don't you warm us up here? What's your Mount Rushmore?
My Mount Rushmore would start with Balloon Fest.
Okay.
I love Balloon Fest. It's gone through a lot of iterations. I remember 20 years ago, they used to have a medieval village at it.
This is true.
They had a dog show downtown. I like Balloon Fest because it's unique. They have a carnival at it, which is great. All these balloons come in. Sometimes they have skydivers.
Right. Yeah, it's called the Michigan Challenge Balloon Fest. It's based in Howell, and there are several hot air balloons. And so usually you see them in the air in the weeks leading up to it, but certainly over that weekend, which is falling on June 26th through 28th. Things like the glow at night.
The glow is huge. Right? They have fireworks too.
Yes.
But the glow is great. You go, they usually do it at the high school. You're going to go there at sunset, and they're going to have a few dozen balloons that they all light up at night, and they're hitting their flame.
Yeah.
And they're playing music to it, and it's great.
And since it's a challenge, so a lot of hot air ballooners from all around come to this, because don't they compete like one of the mornings?
They compete. So they compete in the morning, both mornings. So if you go out there at 6 o'clock in the morning, you set up your chair, they're going to have a big, huge target. And you can sit there, and the balloons come flying, and they have to start a certain number of miles away from the target. Mm-hmm. Because remember, there's no fans or anything on the balloons. They have to use the wind and go up and down, because the wind is different directions at different heights, right?
Right.
And they're trying to throw a beanbag onto a target to see who can get closest to it. Right. So sometimes you'll see someone and they're coming right down on it, and like they're right on top of it, and they can just drop the beanbag and they're on the center of the target. And then there's someone else, and they're like, oh my God, they miscalculated, and they're 150 feet away, and they're just like trying to whip a beanbag, and they're getting nowhere near the target. So, but they talk about each balloon, and they'll say where the pilot's from, and they'll talk about the balloon and who's sponsoring the balloon, and it's fun to see.
Yeah.
So that'd be my number 1.
Yeah.
I love the Balloon Fest. My number 2 would be Taste of Brighton.
Yeah. With all of the different restaurants and the
sometimes we've been to Taste of Brighton where I make it through the whole thing. Last year I made it to the first restaurant and had a few margaritas and didn't make it past that.
Yeah.
But it's a great event. I love walking around, talking to people, trying out different foods.
Yeah. This is true. It's very tasty. A lot of things available. And that this year for 2026 is going to be on July 10th and 11th.
Yes.
So at press time, these are the dates that we have researched and found out. But before you get to that point, certainly please look it up online to confirm so forth, because sometimes dates can change and so forth.
Mm-hmm. My third one would be the Fowlerville Family Fair.
That one's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Kids love going to it.
For me personally, it's not my most favorite event, but it's got so much going on. Again, they have a full carnival at it too.
Yeah.
But they'll have concerts at night sometimes. They'll have a demolition derby. They'll have a figure eight. I know they've done harness racing at it before. There's just so much going on at it.
I've heard some
And
great
then
local singers I didn't even know existed till I heard them there.
exactly. And then the 4-H is big at the
Yes.
there. So you can walk around, you can see them auctioning off animals that people have raised through the year. It's a great event, and it truly is family friendly.
Yes, definitely. Great crowds. And that is deeper into the summer. This year, it is looking to be July 27th to August 1st.
Yes, and for my fourth one, I kind of go back and forth on it. I like Melon Fest quite a bit, but I'm going to be partial to the Barbecue Blues Fest because I like the food at that one more.
Yes. I like the music element of the Blues and Barbecue Fest. And this year, it's September 11th and 12th. It's always in that September range. And I like it because usually the weather's still very nice. And this is kind of like that last push, right? There's been so many great festivals throughout the summer. And this is kind of the last one to go. But the food is great. The people are great. A lot of times people aren't off on vacation as they are in the summer. And you are always running into people. And maybe it's not quite so hot. But between the music and the food, that's
right.
The place.
Yeah.
One of the events that we've not been to, but we really, really need to go, that I've wanted to go for a while, is that Heartland Polo Classic. I've heard a lot of really good things about that.
I've heard a lot of really good things. I have never been to a polo event.
Yeah.
Like a full on,
Seems like that'd be really fun.
Yeah. So the what are the dates of that this year?
That's June 6th and 7th was what?
Yeah. So people get dressed up for that. They get the big hats. They do the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I should
So-
check the dates because I thought the Kentucky Derby is also kind of like that, and that's in the start of May. But at least for the Heartland Polo Classic, that's something to watch for.
Yeah.
The Hamburg Family Fun Fest. So for people with kids, that's a great event. That's June 17th to 20th this summer. And so for those newer to the community, Hamburg is very close to Brighton. It's just south of it, just north of Pinckney. It's really nice and convenient, not hard to get to. But,
right, exactly. And another one that, I mentioned Melon Fest, but we didn't mention the dates. Melon Fest is August 13th to 16th.
Yes.
And if you haven't been to Melon Fest, you need to go to just get the melon flavored ice cream.
There you go. I think that the Melon Fest would definitely make my Mount Rushmore. That is such a fun event. Some years it falls around our daughter's birthday, and I still have memories of her in a little ball gown at 4 years old, climbing a
inflatable
rock wall 3 stories high, and she was just so fearless and so mighty, and she made it all the way to the top, and it's this pink crinoline thing. But the point being that there were so many great events, and it was fun seeing all the little kids, some years that were down there rolling these melons.
Oh, the melon roll.
Yeah, melon roll for the kids, and it's the races. So that's just adorable. You mentioned the melon flavored ice cream. And see, I'm not normally a melon fan, right? I don't eat a lot of melon, but when you're there at Melon Fest, the melons are that, they're all that, and it's worth it for the ice cream. It's worth it for all of it, that everybody gets melon fever.
Yeah, and I love
it.
There's a lot of vendors down there, and it's just a fun event.
Yeah, everybody gets
and
out.
again, there's a 5K at that one as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
So the one on here that we have not been to, we were out of town one year and we didn't make it down, as another one that is just a growing huge event, and that's Destination Star Hollow.
Yes, absolutely. This is a newer.
What is Destination
festival.
Star Hollow?
This is all about that TV show. Oh my gosh, everybody.
The Gilmore
crazy.
Girls.
Gilmore Girls, that's what it is. Yes. And Gilmore Girls takes place in Stars Hollow. So why don't you go ahead and explain what this
So they kind of recreate Star Hollow in downtown Brighton. And what I think is really cool about it is all these local businesses get into it. So they will decorate their front glass window like they're, the ice cream shop in Star Hollow or the coffee place in Star Hollow, and they'll change their name on it for that. And then when you go into each one, they'll have like some kind of stamp or something you can get or what have you, right? But the nice thing that they've done is, like, last year they had 2 stars from the show come in and do like, a talk or,
meet and greet or something.
A meet and greet, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a fun event for people that love the show to be able to come and meet other people that love the show.
Far and away. And I just can't get over how fantastic these shops downtown in Brighton, just to get into it. I've seen them sort of kind of cover up their normal sign to be the sign of one of the shops from the show.
Right.
Right. Little things like the bookstore that's there. They have a whole display of different Gilmore Girls books. Right.
Right.
And just in terms of the merchandise that they're selling that is available, it really is a chance to get into the spirit of, even if you're not a fan of the show, just to be able to kind of see our little hometown Brighton transformed.
It makes you realize how much of a hallmark downtown we have.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would say both Howell and Brighton, and I mean, so many Pinckney, in that they have these hallmark style downtowns.
Yes.
Right?
Small town USA.
Yep. So, and that's great. And we just have so many fun little festivals and events that, like, from ladies' nights out and all of that, there's just so much going on.
Yes.
Which is nice. One thing I had on my list that I wanted to mention that's not exactly an event, but it's a way to support the local community, is Brighton Library and Howell Library once or twice a month do a book sale. And if you haven't been to the book sales, they are great book sales. It's like 50 cents for a paperback, $1 for a hardcover. People are coming in to donate books. The proceeds go to the library because the libraries have so many great events for adults and for kids, where they're giving back, where you're learning things, where, when our kids were younger, they've gone to like a Lego event or they've gone to other events at the library where they were able to learn something and play downstairs.
Yeah.
But these book sales are a great opportunity to go in and maybe, if you're a reader, get some books. If you're like, hey, I don't know where to donate my books.
Yeah.
Donate it at the library because the proceeds are going to a good cause.
Absolutely. So that's something for book lovers. And even for those that like to read. I know I had mentioned the bookstore with Stars Hollow, but Two Dandelions downtown in Brighton, they have some book clubs that people can come and join and be part of. And so that would be, we've talked about the active people, but now that we're touching on the literary people, right? That's something that's fun that you might not even realize is out there. We were in shopping a couple of weeks ago, and they have them on this little wall here, and it explains what each book group is. They kind of each have their own theme, and then they meet, every week at a certain time. And so then I don't even know if it's every week or
it might be every month, but people should definitely go in there and check it out because we were in there looking at books when they had a book club running, and those people looked like they were engaged and having a great time.
Right. Very fun. And you can find out, in advance because it was almost like on a bookmark of these are the books that this group is reading, and these are the days that they catch up to talk about it.
Right.
And so it's, if something's your cup of tea or if it's not, again, for someone who's new to the community, what a great way to meet people.
Right.
Of common interest.
And you were talking about meeting people, and this is an event that happens every week. That's another one of our episodes. So way back, probably like episode 30, 40, like way back, we had Running Fit on.
Yes. Oh, they're very good.
So Running Fit does a running club. And I know that the running club is extremely active, not because I'm in it, but I'm driving down Brighton Road and I'm always seeing them running at night and people have the lights on, lighted vest on, and it is a big group.
Yeah.
And I can't remember right now whether it's Tuesday or Thursday, so excuse me if I get the date wrong.
Check in at the store. They're the ones who kind of head the sun up, and but there's all these different great fun things, no matter what your interests are, whether you are new to the community or even if you're not, but maybe you want to shake it up. Maybe you want to make some new friends and meet people. And certainly there's trivia nights
Oh, yeah,
around
all
town,
over the place,
and
yeah.
a lot of the great restaurants. I know Lou and Carl's has some, and Label, who we've had on as well.
And you said Naughty Me has an event coming
Oh
up
my
too,
goodness,
right?
yes. So just as a note, Naughty Me had been episode 93. If you wanted to check out those, they're down in Pinckney. And really cute store and ice cream, but a shop with a lot of Michigan type of products. But they are celebrating their 5th anniversary. So on April 25th from 1 to 6, they're going to have prizes, giveaways, balloon art, vendors, and there's always so much fun.
Yeah.
They're fun people, and
Great ice cream, great coffees, and you can, during the summer, go down there and rent a canoe, rent a kayak, and take it down the river.
yeah. What a fun thing and way to see everything. And, or even if you have people in from out of town, to show them what your community has to offer. Don't forget about Howell Nature Center, because throughout the summer, they definitely have a lot of fun and cool things. I know there's an Earth Day event coming up where there's crafts and a scavenger hunt, and that's on April 22nd. But I know they do offer camps, and they do offer other fun.
Oh, they've been out there,
too.
yeah. Their groundhog is becoming quite famous.
Yes, it really is. So,
Or woodchuck, actually. Sorry.
yes, isn't Woody?
Woody the woodchuck, yeah. So, but no, one of the things I would say, and I mentioned it on some episodes sometimes, about the whole idea of the podcast being, giving a platform for these local businesses, but also that idea of sometimes you get off the freeway, or you're going down Grand River, and Main Street or Grand River, or if you're down in Pinckney, downtown is closed. So they have the barriers up, and there's some kind of festival going on, and you're like, I didn't even know that was happening. My advice to you is park your car, get out, and go check out the festival, because there are so many wonderful local businesses, wonderful local vendors, but so many great people to meet. And it's just a fun time. Any of these festivals is a great thing that you should definitely get out to. And if you have kids, 100% take them with you, get them down there, because just amazing events. The parades we have, the stuff going on all summer, the live music. What a great time to get out in Livingston County and go see things and do things and just enjoy the summer weather, because...
And the atmosphere, and the vibe, and all of it. Like, it's just... a lot of camaraderie.
Yeah, and that's not even to mention the little car shows we have in town and everything else. There's more things than I could mention in an hour.
Yes, there really is. But I think we took a good stab at it, and these are events, for the most part, that we've listed here that happen every year.
Right.
And so, so even if you're listening to this at some point and, the summer's already gone by, know that, hey, in terms of next summer, these are things that year in and year out, people do get excited for and plan for, and there's something for everybody.
Right. Yep. So thank you guys so much for listening today. One thing I did want to mention is our newsletter. We put local events in our newsletter every month that kind of let you know what's coming up in the community. So if you go to welcometolivingston.com, which is our website, you can sign up for our local newsletter on there. We just email it out once a month. We're not going to bother you or anything, but it's just, it has, some of the recent podcasts that we've had on. It has local events. I know this month, we had the Pirates of Penzance on there. We had
some really good ones. He was almost pirate themed this month here, because there's a vintage jewelry sale May 1st through May 9th over at the Kobach Center in Brighton. And that seemed really fun, and it helps to support the Brighton Area Historical Society.
Yeah, I had a rummage sale promoting or helping out the Heartland Senior Center, right?
Right, Senior Activity Center. Trash to Treasure.
Trash to Treasures, which is great. So that's April 23rd from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., where you can go in and you can, it's an indoor rummage sale, but it's gently used stuff, and it supports the Heartland Senior Activity Center.
Yeah. So every month you put these fun community events in that maybe people don't know about, and we try to really have something in it that offers value to people.
Right. So if you're interested in getting those, please reach out to us, or please go to our website, and there's a link on there on the first page for you to be able to sign up for the newsletter. And we would just love to get that out to you. But thank you so much for listening today. We just love doing this podcast, and we love supporting our local community.
Livingston County is truly the best, and we're excited that you're excited about it too.
Yes, so thank you guys so much.
And
welcome to Livingston.